everyone for joining the call. And I would like to start telling, start off with telling that you have been a wonderful group of participants on the WhatsApp group, because I see that you keep responding spontaneously, and that gives me or motivates me as a facilitator. So that's very nice of you. And just one more favor that I'm going to ask all of you is that for the next 30 minutes, I want all of your focus over here. So I'm assuming that all of you enjoyed making and playing with this activity, acids and bases, turmeric indicator. So before we start off, what is the need to know about acids and bases? Is it only because it is a part of the chemistry subject? Or since we have signed up for this workshop about acids and bases? Or is there something related to acids and bases in our daily life? All of us have heard of matter, right? So what is matter? Now matter is anything that occupies space and has mass. Now what about the air that we breathe? Is that matter? Yes, that is also matter. See, if this is a witness, the balloon that you see here, it occupies space. I mean, the air entered the air that has entered the balloon, it is clearly visible that it has occupied some space and it has mass. So yes, air is also matter. Anything around us, whatever we see, it's all matter because it occupies space and has mass. But now what is matter built up of? If you can consider these small dots that it is built up of. So matter is built up of basic units called as atoms. Now you can't even see atoms like these small dots. It's only visible to you through an electron microscope. Now how does an atom look like, or what is it made up of? Let's zoom in to see what an atom is made up of. Okay, now I'm going to consider an example of one of the atoms. Let me consider a sodium atom. Sodium is also matter. It is an element. So let's consider one atom of sodium and see how the structure looks like. So sodium means Na. That is what is here. And you can see at the center, there are some orange dots. Those are the protons or the positive charges. The gray dots, you don't have to worry about that as of now. Those are neutrons. It does not have any charge. And the green dots are the negative charges or the electrons. And we won't be talking about these neutrons today because it's not relevant to the concepts or the content that we will be talking about. So we are not going to concentrate much on these gray dots. And otherwise, if you see, it has electrons, the green dots, and the orange dots or the positive charges. Now let's count and see how many negative charges are there. Quickly count. Since the screen is there in front of you, quickly count how many electrons are there. Okay. And quickly count how many positive charges or the orange dots are there. If you see, there are 11 electrons and 11 protons. That means number of positive charges or number of protons is equal to the number of negative charges or number of electrons. That means they're all balanced. It's not charged anymore. It's all balanced now. Now let's look another scenario of the same atom, of the sodium atom. Now look at this. This is also a sodium atom, but you count the number of electrons in this. Quickly count the number of electrons, the green dots, and then count the number of protons. Now if you see, the number of protons or the number of positive charges are greater than the number of negative charges or the number of electrons. And by how many? By 1. We have 11 protons and just 10 electrons. So the number of positive charges is greater by 1. So now it's no more going to be Na. Instead, it will be Na plus. That means we are having a charge now. It's no more an atom. It's a charged atom. Okay. So let's consider just one more example so that we are clear about these charges, or charges are nothing but ions. So let's just take one more example now. I've considered oxygen. So if you see, as of now, oxygen is written as only O. So if you quickly count the number of protons and quickly count the number of electrons. How many protons and how many electrons? You have 8 protons and 8 electrons. That means, again, number of positive charges is equal to number of negative charges. So it's neutral or no charge. That means you can still write it as O. Let's take another scenario of the same oxygen atom. Now quickly count the number of electrons, the green dots. And quickly count the number of protons. Okay. So if you see here, the number of electrons, I mean oxygen atom has gained 2 extra electrons. So number of negative charges is greater than number of positive charges over here. And by how many? It's greater by 2. And that's why it's no more just O. Instead, it is O2 minus. And it's a charged atom. Okay. So now, we saw that an atom consists of protons, neutrons, and electrons. And an ion is an atom with a charge. Okay. So now we know what ions are. But ions are of different kinds. I can have a sodium ion, oxygen ion, potassium ion, calcium ion, hydroxide ion, hydrogen ion, different kinds of ions based on the substance or the element. Vishal, am I audible, Vishal?
Yes, Lakshmi. Very
Okay.
clearly audible. On screen is also very clearly visible.
Okay.
Please continue. Yeah.
Okay. So now we spoke about ions. Now all acids produce H plus ions when dissolved in water. That means they contribute H plus ions in the presence of water. And bases, all bases produce OH minus ions when dissolved in water. I mean, bases contribute OH minus ions in an aqueous solution. So I'll just show that diagram. Now you can remember this picture in mind when you want to think about acids and bases. So acids contribute H plus ions in aqueous solution, and bases contribute OH minus ions in aqueous solution. Okay. So now, since we know that acids have H plus ions and bases have OH minus ions, I think since a week we have tested several items or several samples to check which is acid in nature or which item or which substance is basic in nature. So let's take one example of that. Now, most of us have tested lemon and it was acidic in nature. And lemon itself, inside it has some water content in it. And that's why when turmeric comes in contact with the acid, or when it senses, it's not going to react with the acid. Instead, it's just going to sense the H plus ions. And when it senses those H plus ions, the turmeric remains to be yellow. And that's why, with lemon, the color of turmeric was still yellow itself. It did not change color. But when turmeric comes in contact with or when it senses, it's not going to react, it's only going to sense. When it senses OH minus ions, it changes its color to red. So if you see detergent powder, when it's in the solution form, it releases OH minus ions. And when turmeric comes in contact or when it senses these OH minus ions, that's when you get a red color. So now I've always like been talking about, we also had this post on the group, and many of you have answered. I'm very glad that many of you were trying to answer, and many of you have told that water is necessary, and you have not added, and that's why the color has not changed. Many of you posted that answer. I was very glad to hear that. But the question is, why water? To answer that, we'll have to look at the structure of water. Now, if you see this diagram on the screen, this is the structure of water. It has oxygen atom and 2 hydrogen atoms. And if you see that, the dots are the electrons of oxygen that is also being shared by hydrogen. And the plus sign is the electrons of the hydrogen that is also being shared by oxygen. But oxygen is stronger than hydrogen, just like a tug of war. Now, more of the rope or the electrons is being pulled towards oxygen. It's not that hydrogen is not going to have the electrons, but it is going to have the lesser side of the rope or the lesser side of the electrons towards it. But more side of the rope or the electrons is towards oxygen. And that's why oxygen is negative and hydrogen is positive. Now, to remember that, you can, remember this picture. Oxygen is strong and hydrogen is weak. And that's why oxygen is negative and hydrogen is positive. So it looks like this. So now what do you think? It has plus and minus. So when it has two different kinds of charges, they're called as polar in nature. That's why water is polar in nature. So now what about the nature of the acids and bases? What about them? Now let's look at some of the example of acids, but please register this in mind that water is polar in nature because oxygen is negative and hydrogen is positive. So let's move on to look at some of the examples of acids. Now nitric acid, the first one is nitric acid. Now that can be written as, or it can be split as H plus NO3 minus. Sulfuric acid, it can be written as 2H plus SO4 2 minus. And the next one, citric acid, nothing but the lemon juice. In lemon we have citric acid. So that can be written as 3H plus C6H5O7 3 minus. HCl can be written as H plus Cl minus. Now you don't have to worry a lot about these formulas. All that you need to look at or concentrate is these are also having plus and minus charges in them. Nitric acid is having plus and a minus. Sulfuric acid is also having a plus and a minus. And note that all of the acids are having H plus ions in them. But it's true that they are having, each of the acid is having a plus and a minus. So that means acids are also polar in nature. Now let's look at bases. What if are bases also polar in nature or they are not polar in nature? Let's look at some of the bases. So these are some of the examples of bases. Again, the first example, potassium hydroxide. It can be written as K plus OH minus. Sodium hydroxide written as Na plus OH minus. Calcium hydroxide written as Ca2 plus 2OH minus. Lithium hydroxide written as Li plus OH minus. Again, you don't have to worry about these formulas. All that you need to know is the plus and the minus. If you see, all of the bases are having OH minus ions, and it also has a positive ion. So that means bases are also polar in nature. So the water that we are using, that is also polar in nature. And if we have to have acid, that is also polar in nature. And we have to, in case we want to, use base in a solution, base is also polar in nature. Now polar means we know that it is having charges. What do I mean when I say polar? Charges, the plus and minus. So one common principle that we know is opposite charges attract each other. So now what happens? Let's take one example. What happens when you're trying to dissolve HCl, hydrochloric acid, in water. So if you see the structure of water, as I told you earlier, it is polar in nature. Now H plus and Cl minus. So Cl minus gets attracted to the H plus ions of water. And what else will get remained now? H plus ions. And that's why when you add acid to water, it increases the number of H plus ions in water or the aqueous solution. Now what about a base? Will base also increase the number of H plus ions? Or will it not? Let's look at an example for that. Okay, now again look at the structure of water. It is polar in nature. It is having plus and minus. And look at this base KOH. So K plus, if it's plus, it will get attracted to O minus of the water. And what else is remaining? OH minus is remaining. And now what OH minus will do? It will react with H plus. So if it reacts with H plus, OH minus plus H plus combines to give water. That means it is reducing the number of H plus ions in water. So we know that bases, they contribute OH minus ions when dissolved in water. That means they reduce the number of H plus ions in water. So now I have one more question to all of you. You can just start thinking about it. I'm assuming that many of you have seen this movie or even the trailer, the Hindi movie, the Chapak movie, where the heroine, her face is, having blisters because someone has thrown acid on the face. Her face is literally burnt. So we know that acids are really harmful, right? And bases, it's equally harmful. If you see, in earlier days, even before this washing machine was there, we all would wash the clothes with, our hands. And using this detergent powder constantly, you'll have cracks on the hand. In fact, I have this experience that my mother was washing, when she was washing the clothes by night, because every day she used to wash clothes with that, a strong base. And by night, every time her fingers would burn and deep cracks in the fingers, and we had to apply some ointment. It's that harmful. So acids and bases are harmful. But look at the contradiction now. The foods that we tested, most of it were acids. And we are consuming acid. Now, don't you think that is harmful? And even base, the cooking soda, it is used in most of the cooking items, right? If it's so harmful, we shouldn't be using. Then how are we using it? Now, what matters is, yeah, it is harmful. Acids or bases are harmful, but it depends on the concentration of the acid or the concentration of the base. If the concentration is too high, yes, the acid is harmful to you. The same way, if the concentration of the base is too high, yes, it is harmful to you. Now, is there a way to measure the concentration of H plus ions? Yes. The concentration or the potential of hydrogen ions. Potential of hydrogen ions. In short, potential of hydrogen, named as pH, is measured by a pH scale. What's that pH scale? if you're watching the screen, now this is, the pH scale. Now I've taken this picture online, so I'm not sure if, whatever we see, the data that they've matched. See, lemon juice, they've matched it to 2, or apple juice. So that may not be true, because we will have to test that. Unless and until we test, we can't confirm on that data. But the other data is true. Wherever they are saying 7 is neutral, if the value is 7, yes, it is neutral. And everything below 7 is acidic in nature. And everything above 7 till 14, it is basic in nature. So now, how does this pH scale actually look like? I've shown a sample of that. I mean, if you can maybe later on, if you sign up for more activities, we also, we can give you these booklets and you can try out with that. But that's a later thing. But as of now, I'm just showing you this booklet. This is how a pH booklet looks like. At the top, if you see, the scale is there. Along with the color, you can see the numbers. If it is 7, it is neutral. Below 7 is all acidic, and above 7, it's all basic. So inside, if you can see inside the booklet, there are some yellow pages or some leaflets. So I'll show you, I'll show that in the next picture. I've just torn a strip of it and I've just arranged it like this. So this is how the scale looks like, and inside the leaflet looks like this. So I've tested lemon. So the color of the pH paper is a kind of orange. So look carefully now and try to match it. What do you think the value will be? This orange, which value does it match? Does it match 5, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? Which one does it match, do you think? Watch it carefully. Okay, I'm assuming that all of you have made your assumptions. Okay, so I've just kept the paper strip close to the pH scale so that you can easily match. According to me, it should be around 4. So you can test that later if you have access to this pH booklet. Now we have tried an acid substance. Let's try a basic substance. So I've tested it with Wimbar. And what do you think this color on the pH leaflet matches with? Which number does it match, do you think? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Which one do you think it matches? You can watch carefully. There, I've kept it close to the scale. According to me, I think it should be around 9. Okay. So now we know that concentration matters a lot. Now, based on the concentration, we want some reactions to happen and we want some reactions not to happen. Let's take an example of, the mouth. Now, we know that all the food that we consume is acidic in nature. So after eating food, if we don't floss our mouth or if we don't, brush our teeth, some of the food gets decayed or the food content still remains there and it's acidic in nature. Not necessary that, only the food content. Sometimes you also drink an acid, right? All the cool drinks, it's directly an acid. So these acids or the acidic nature is conducive to the bacteria that's there in the mouth. When I say conducive, that means it helps or motivates the growth of this bacteria. And that's why you have a decayed tooth. And the other important reason is that the acid, it corrodes the enamel on the teeth. So we don't want this acidic nature in the mouth. We don't want that acid to react in the mouth. Now, how do we stop it? What do you think? What could be the solution? Yeah, you can use a paste that is basic in nature. So look at this. Plus and minus together, it gives nothing. It gives neutral. So that's what I meant. If it's acidic, it's H plus. Now, if you use a paste that is basic in nature, it will neutralize. That means it will cancel out. And when it's neutral, there is no more acidic environment in your mouth. And that's why you will not have a decayed, you'll not have problems of a decaying tooth, or you'll not have germs or even the corrosion of the teeth. So now you know how neutralization happens. Let me just give you one more example, and carefully watch all these things, because after another 5 minutes, I'll be asking you some questions. So the next example is, look at this commode or the toilet. Now, usually we see that, if you don't wash the commode for some days, it turns that yellowish cream color. Why does that happen? Now, the water that we use, it has most of these basic salts, like maybe calcium salts or magnesium salts. Because the water that we get, like it may be the underground water, and these days, the bowel, it's around 1,000 meters, in depth. It's dug that deep, and water that is seeped in that deep, it has many of these basic salts that is dissolved in it. And that's why, after a long time, if you don't wash, those salts, the basic salts remain, and that's why you see that color, the dim color and it's not pleasing at all. And you want to remove those stains or that cream color. You want to see it bright, shining. And what do? What's the solution for that? You probably use an acid. That's because you want to neutralize it. OH minus and H plus together, when they come in contact, it neutralizes and it removes those cream color. And that's how you see a shining, nice shining commode. So now we saw about neutralization also. Now, one more question. Now, the food that we consume, it's all acidic in nature, and every day we are consuming the acidic natured food. So don't you think our stomach should also be harmed? Because it's acid, and maybe even though it's slightly acidic, we are consuming it every day, morning till evening. So don't you think it's harmful for the stomach? Yeah, nature.
Lakshmi, just a gentle reminder, you have last 1 minute to
Yeah.
cover what you want to, because there are a bunch of questions which are
Okay. So this is the last thing that we'll be talking about, in this. So about the stomach. So here I have this picture. So all the food that we have, in fact, nature is designed in such a way that it only benefits us. In the stomach, you have hydrochloric acid, and the pH of this acid is very high. It's around 1.5 to 3. And why do you need that kind of a strong acid? The level of pH has to be so high, only then it's going to generate an enzyme or a chemical called pepsin. And pepsin digests the protein. And in case if pepsin is not there, then the food cannot be digested or the protein cannot be digested. And that's why hydrochloric acid is so important, and the pH level of that acid is so important to generate pepsin, and pepsin digests the food. Now, just one more thing. Now, if the food that is digested here in the stomach is so acidic, if you see it's H plus ions, it's so acidic. Now, if it goes to your small intestine, the small intestine, the nature over there, it's very tender and it can't bear that acidic nature. So in between, is there something that can neutralize it? Yes, the pancreas is there, where the pancreas secretes some kind of juices or sodium bicarbonate, which is basic in nature. So when the food passes here, the digested food is being neutralized, and only then enters the small intestine, and hence it does not harm the the sophisticated nature of the small intestine. Yeah, that's all about it. So now we know how important acids and bases are and their reactions, how important it is in our daily life. Okay, let's do a quick recap, and then after that you can ask your questions, and after that we also have a small quiz. So let's look at the map here. So what all we spoke about? We spoke about matter, we spoke about acids, bases, atoms. Atoms means we spoke about electrons, protons, neutrons, ions, and the concentration of the ions, the concentration of H plus ions or OH minus ions. What happens if the concentration is more, and what's the pH scale? And we also spoke about polarity. The polarity means the plus and the minus, the polar nature of water, and also the acids and the bases. Yeah, that's all. I think, yeah, I think we've almost covered everything in this. So now, yeah, you can go ahead with your questions, and after that we'll have a quiz, a quick quiz.
Uh, so I'll read out the questions which have been raised so far, Lakshmi, on the chat
Okay.
window. The first one, I think Karthik has a question that Karthik, your first question is an active also known as molecule. I'm not clear what you mean. We'll probably take the second question and you can clarify this one. Uh, Karthik has asked, will a reaction be done only when both substances are polar in
Yeah.
nature? So if you, I think he's asking polar and non-polar substances,
Okay.
can they react?
This is an interesting question, Karthik. So I'll give an example to this. So water is polar in nature, I told you, and the acids and bases are also polar in nature, and that's why there's some kind of reaction. So if rain is falling, I mean, if rain falls, I think the chlorophyll on the leaves should get washed off. If I mean, water is polar in nature, right? So what about the chlorophyll? Is that also polar in nature or not? I think I'm just trying to give you an indirect answer that yes, it should be polar in nature. But if you have both non-polar, I mean, if you see the chlorophyll, if you try to dissolve it in a kind of an alcohol, it gets dissolved there, because alcohol is also non-polar in nature and the chlorophyll is also non-polar in nature. You can try that yourself. But the chlorophyll doesn't get dissolved in water, because water is polar, but the chlorophyll is not polar. So yes, both has to be polar in nature.
Then, so again, Karthik has written down his questions. Abhinav is going to ask. Karthik has put another question that do you add acid to water or water to acid? Which Kailash has responded saying, Kailash and Abhinav, in fact, both of them have responded saying it should be acid to water, uh, which Karthik was not satisfied with Kailash's explanation that it's just to prevent splashing, because he's saying I want a scientific reason, which again Kailash has clarified in the chat window. Lakshmi, if you want to give your opinion, we can do that. Otherwise, I can just read out what Kailash.
I also have the same opinion that it splashes, not really a scientific reason. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
I mean
splitting.
it just splashes because there is a it is exothermic in
Yeah.
nature, right? Reaction, and if the heat generated is high, so because initially you have small amount of water getting added to acid, and it's in fact for that matter it's not just about acid to water or base to water. So even if you take sodium hydroxide crystals, those you add water to it, then it will be equally exothermic. And because it generates so much heat, the water may start boiling, and in the process, splashing would happen. If it splashes, then obviously any concentrated acid or base,
Is harmful.
it can either harm you or it can harm the property.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, Abhinav, can you go ahead and ask your question? So Abhinav, you'll type it on the chat window. Yeah, in the meantime, so we have questions from Abhinav and Karthik. What about others? Anyone else who has a question? Okay, looks like. Abhinav, just give a quick response. Do you have a question or do we move ahead?
So I think today's question, I think many of you were like separately, pinging me and asking me on WhatsApp, what's the answer for that? So I guess now you would have got the answer, what you need to add for the color change. And yeah, I think I've also spoken about, that turmeric really does not react, but it's only going to sense those charges, the ions, and then it's going to change color. So there's no chemical reaction that is happening.
Okay. So Abhinav said he is typing, so we'll wait for that. In the meantime, Lakshmi, I'm just trying to see if we can. Can you? Oh, you are going to use your screen for the quiz, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I think he has typed a message. Yes, Abhinav, go ahead. Okay, since it's taking time, Abhinav, I'll unmute you. You can come on the mic and ask your question. Okay,
Hello.
Abhinav. Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, Abhinav.
Yeah. So actually, as we all know, bases have hydroxide minus ions and like OH minus ions, and acids have H plus ions.
Right.
What does neutral substances contain? Like, I mean, are they polars or non-polars as
They don't have charge. Neutral means they don't have charge. Like, so
well?
say
Okay.
earlier I told oxygen,
Neutrons.
yeah, oxygen O2 minus, but before O2 minus, before gaining 2 electrons, it was only O, right?
Yeah.
So here also when I say neutralization, H plus and OH minus, when they react together, they form water.
Okay.
It's a complete, like, a molecule, and there's no like ions or no charges in it.
Thank you.
No, but just a small clarification, Abhinav. When we talk about acids and bases, it's always talked about in the context of water. Okay.
Hmm.
Or to be accurate, it's usually talked about in the context of water because you also have some bases which are not alkalis.
Yeah.
But otherwise, so now if I take pure water, let's say distilled water, so distilled water uh, has equal number of H plus ions and OH minus ions. So it's not that pure water, distilled water does not have H plus ions or OH minus ions. It's just that they both are balanced and hence.
No, actually, my question was: do any neutral substances have any ions, or they're like neutrons, like they're?
I'm saying when we talk about acids and bases, we talk about solutions in water. So the moment you have water, you have H plus and OH minus. It says that both are equal. Now you add an acidic substance to water, then the number of H plus ions increases. That's more than the OH minus. You add a base to water, then the number of OH minus increases. So that doesn't mean distilled water does not have H plus and OH minus. That's the clarification I'm making.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, let's see the chat window. I don't see any other questions so far. Okay, we are assuming that there are no other questions. Then we will have Lakshmi ask us questions.
Okay, is everyone ready for the questions? So everyone, you'll get just 1 minute for the question, for the answer. So I'll also time it. So you can just type your answers on the, initially, after I ask the question, I'm not going to give you options because I want you to think of the options yourself. Okay. And after some time, I'll give you the options also. And after giving the options, I'll give you only 1 minute and you can quickly type the options on the screen. Okay. So now the first question is, now ant bites are acidic in nature. What do you think you can treat it with? I'm showing the picture. The ant has bitten her and you see it's acidic in nature. What do you think a solution could be? All of you can, start thinking of a solution. I hope all of you have an answer in the mind, and I'm going to move to the options now. Your options are vinegar, baking soda, and paste of baking soda. Your time starts now. Quickly type in the options. I'm not able to see the chat window. Vishal has most of them typed in the options.
Yeah, they are typing.
Yeah.
They are typing.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, your time is over for, 1 minute only, so it's over.
Yeah. So before, so I'll read it out for you, Lakshmi. Before you showed the option, there were two responses. Sai Sashidhar said basic, Karthik said honey, Gautam said toothpaste in bracket base. But as
Okay,
soon as
very
you gave
nice.
options, Gautam said C, Sai Sashidhar said baking soda. So I'm assuming you mean option B.
Okay.
Shreya said C, Manasvi said C. So Karthik also said C. Abhinav has had an explanation with baking soda as ant bite contains formic acid. Diya said
Wonderful.
paste of baking soda. Dikshita said option B. Nayonika says paste of baking soda. Dhriti said C. Lakshmi Sridhar also said C. So C seems to have got majority number of votes. Let's
Is
see.
the right answer. See, baking soda, as we know, we should be like really careful when we think it's a solution. I mean, only when it is there in, it releases OH minus ions in aqueous solution, right? So it's a paste of baking soda and not only baking soda. Okay. Okay. So I think all of you are ready for the next question. So plants cannot grow well in acidic soil. I mean, the nutrients don't reach the plant if the soil is too acidic. You can see the picture here. The plant is almost kind of having no nutrition. It's, drying off. If you see the soil is acidic in nature. What do you think the solution will be? You can think of your options before I show you the options. Okay, I'm going to show the options now. Your options are lime fertilizers like calcium oxide or calcium carbonate, and B is vinegar. I guess you have tested both lime and vinegar, so you should know, you should be guessing the right answer now. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even set the time. So you just have
That's
half a
okay.
minute.
Yeah, most I have not seen any answer. Yeah. People
Is it
are
option
saying
A?
option A. Yeah, everyone is saying option A.
Okay.
Abhinav has said slake lime or quick lime. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just to clarify here that you will have some plants which, so the requirement, this pH level of the soil uh, varies from plant to plant. Some plants like acidic pH, some like basic pH as well. Not all plants have a requirement for neutral pH. I'm just making a clarification that this may not be true for everything. It's only this situation which Lakshmi has picked up.
Okay, so shall I move ahead with the next question if no one has any other doubts in this? Okay.
I think so, Lakshmi. Yeah.
Okay. Now, I was talking about the hydrochloric acid in the stomach. It's not that, that acid is there all the time in the stomach. Now, what happens is after a certain gap of period, that's why we have that, after every meal, you need to have a gap of 4 hours or not more than that. That is because after that gap, hydrochloric acid starts producing. And if you don't eat your food on time, then what happens? The acidity increases and it starts eating the lining or whatever the layer in the stomach, and that increases the acidity. So what could be the solution? Okay, I'll just show the options. use medicine that has aluminum hydroxide or magnesium hydroxide, use medicine that is neutral, use medicine that is acidic in nature. Vishal,
So
they've titled it.
before you showed the option, Abhinav had said antacid as it is a base. Sai Sashidhar said you can consume antacid like milk of magnesia. And after you showed the option, so far everyone has said A.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay. So we'll move to the next question. Now, although most of the shampoos claim to be neutral, so now that's very, these days that's the hype, right? Yeah, we have a neutral soap, we have a neutral shampoo, those things are there. But although it claims to be neutral, they are mildly, I mean, it has a mild alkaline in nature, which makes your hair unmanageable, just like this. See? So what do you think the answer is? What do you think you'll treat it with? Your options are use conditioner that is neutral in nature, use conditioner that is acidic in nature, use conditioner that is alkaline in nature.
I don't think this group needs 1 minute to answer these questions.
Oh God. Okay. Okay. I guess everyone have given the right answer, Vishal.
Everyone has written B. Abhinav, I don't know what, maybe you can share your thought. He has written A, mild acid. No, I think he just picked the wrong option, but he's saying mild acid. So yeah, everyone is saying yes, correct. Oh, he's saying A mild acid, not option A. He meant option B.
Correct, correct. He's correct. Yeah, a mild acid. Right,
correct,
right.
correct.
You're right, Abhinav. Perfectly right. Okay. So the next question is, wasp stings are alkaline in nature. What can you treat it with?
Now people are not waiting for options.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Most of them have already written an acid. Now, as you give the options, let's said. Oh, wait. A couple of people have said option B.
Maybe I should show the picture again.
No, people are saying vinegar. I think Riya and Gautam. Let me understand what they're saying. They have said option B. And option B is what? Is it lime?
Option B, let me check. Paste of lime powder.
Paste of lime powder. Maybe
Yes.
you just clarify that, Lakshmi. Rest all the people have said A.
Okay. So paste of lime powder. Lime powder is basic in nature. So what ions will they have? Paste of lime powder. OH minus ions or H plus minus, H plus ions. It will have OH minus ions, right? So here, when the wasp stings, it's alkaline in nature. That means it's giving out that OH minus ions. So if we add paste of baking soda to this, it will increase that burning sensation because you'll be increasing the concentration of a base over here. So that should not happen. Instead, we should neutralize it. So how are we going to neutralize? There's minus charges here. Now you need to add the plus charges. That's the H plus. And what's the option for that? The only acid option that you have here is vinegar. So that will, if you apply vinegar, then it will neutralize. So that's the answer for this. So that's all, only that many questions I had framed. Any other kind of questions anyone has?
So this group, did anyone find any fruits, vegetables, or any other edible which is basic in nature? Because I could see lemon and tamarind, etc., being shown as acidic. Karthik is saying banana, is it acid or base? And cucumber. So Sai Sashidhar also thinks banana is basic. Sai
Now, to be
Sashidhar is
honest,
clear. Yeah.
turmeric is not a really sensitive indicator. So when you test it with other indicators like bromothimol blue or yeah, with that, then we can actually test all the food. All the food substances are either neutral or acidic in nature. So we don't find any food that is basic in nature. In our
At
team and
least
at
we haven't
office,
found. Yeah.
we have tested it. We have even tested spices. We were, because we were also curious to know, because a lot of these ads keep coming on WhatsApp and other things. They keep telling what is that, some slogans telling that alkaline sattva and so many other kind of slogans that alkaline food is very important, and these and such a food is alkaline, especially bitter gourd, because the word says bitter there itself. It says it's alkaline, so it's really good for the body. So, but we have literally tested it and we have checked and we have confirmed that no food is basic in nature. It's all acidic in nature.
Some are neutral and some are
Yeah.
acidic, but there's nothing which we found basic. So Karthik is saying, Madam had told she would tell the answers. So yes, we are confirming that cucumber and banana both are acidic. And in fact, Lakshmi, I had myself tested banana with vermilion, and it very clearly turns yellow. So even turmeric and vermilion are good enough for some of
Testing.
these. These are highly acidic, banana or cucumber. I had myself assumed that papaya or pomegranate, some of these will be basic, or even watermelon, but they all turned out to be acidic and properly acidic. And same as Lakshmi is saying, bitter gourd is also acidic.
Yeah, so what you'll have to do is, maybe sometimes it happens that human error, we'll have to try it several times. Maybe there's a slight contamination somewhere, so maybe you'll have to try that again. Take water that is neutral, the water that you are using to mix the turmeric, to make the turmeric solution. Also make sure that water is neutral. uh, so I think drinking water, it's most of the time it's neutral. So you can take that and again test that, Karthik. You can test banana again.
So two more questions. So Abhinav, Gautam has actually said mango, but Gautam, again, as Lakshmi is saying, it could be an error in testing. Mango
And
is also
Gautam,
acidic.
one more thing. See, I posted a picture on the group. How we need to, test these food items. We shouldn't be using the pulp of it, because that will dominate the color of the indicator. After you cut maybe tomato or even mango, if you just leave it as you're cutting, you'll find some kind of like that light juice that is, there on the plate. Maybe you can use that. And in fact, we have tested and we have like confirmed that it is all acidic. But yeah, that way you can try rather than using the pulp. Probably you would have used the pulp of the mango, and that's why it would have dominated the color of the indicator.
So two more questions. Sai Sashidhar is asking, ma'am, which food is basic in nature? So Sai, as Lakshmi just said, there's nothing that we have found so far. So we all should continue to do the testing together. So far, we have tested all the vegetables that we knew about, and also all fruits. We have also tested all the spices, and we have not come across. So obviously, cooking soda or baking soda, these are basic in nature, and we are not talking about baking powder. Just baking soda or cooking soda, these are basic, but it's not that all our recipes include addition of soda. So as Lakshmi said, it's our body's requirement that stomach's pH is maintained to be acidic. In fact, the stomach's pH is in the range of 1 to 2. So the neutralization happens only when the food reaches the intestine. Lakshmi, another related question from Abhinav. If we consume a very strong base by mistake, which is stronger in comparison to HCl, what is the cure? So I'm assuming, Abhinav, you are thinking that since we consume a strong base, this may disturb the pH environment of the stomach and hence it can harm our body. Uh, I can share my opinion, and further if Kailash and Lakshmi they have their thought, they can share. I would assume that the body, though I don't know about this for sure, but I would assume that the body, our stomach, since stomach is secreting the HCl, it should adjust to maintain the pH.
Yeah, in the first place, what I think is if it's a strong base, even as soon as it enters the mouth, we'll have blisters. It's going to burn the buccal cavity or the mouth or even the food pipe. And the second thing is once it enters, it reaches the hydrochloric acid. If it's a strong base, then it should only neutralize, and I don't think it should be of a great harm. So it's just my hypothesis again, and all of us, yeah, we can have those assumptions or hypothesis for something that is not proved anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, so in fact, it's a good question, Abhinav. Let's find answer that we are convinced, and then we can share on the WhatsApp group. Gautam is asking, other than water, which food is neutral? So many food items that we tested, especially the spices. So initially, I had assumed some of these spices like cumin or ajwain or even hing, especially the Indian food. I had assumed that it's these spices which do the job of neutralization. But when I tested, most of those spices were neutral. In fact, even pepper was also only mildly acidic, if I remember correctly. Salt is neutral in nature. Shreya is saying that. Yes, Shreya, thanks for the reminder. Salt is definitely neutral. Lakshmi, anything you want to add to Gautam's question?
No, Vishal, I've not tested many. So, yeah, apart from salt, I don't really remember.
Okay. Looks like we have come to an end to the questions from the group. This group has been amazing. Just let me, I would also like to agree and call it out, as Lakshmi was saying in the beginning of the call. It's very, very encouraging to see the active participation from all of you. Let's continue this. Any kind of scientific inquiry is only a journey, is all I can say. So, as long as we persist and we continue this, it will be as much fun for us. Lakshmi, the next activity is there anything that we need to inform them?
The next one, evaporative cooling. Yeah, Vishal, about the alcohol, most of them will be confused, and they might again mix water with the the already mixture of kind of alcohol. So yeah, so in the guide, if you see, or in the video, you will have to use an alcohol. Now we are mixing water because we are using propanol, which is a kind of a pure alcohol that we are using. But since you're not having that kind of a pure alcohol, you don't need to mix water. It's already a mixture of some moisture and water, so you don't need to add water unless and until you have a pure alcohol. So that's
basically you are saying if they are using the hand sanitizer, which is quite often already diluted, then they don't need to, right? But if it is 90% or more concentration of some form of alcohol, then only then they need to mix water.
Yeah, and then one more important thing, that most of the time it has so happened that you keep everything ready, the strips of paper and the mixture of the alcohol, everything ready, and after that you try burning and you see nothing really happens, and you come back telling that, yeah, nothing, it's all wet and nothing happens. It has happened with me also. Even I have had that experience, and that only happens because we know that alcohol is, volatile in nature, and you shouldn't keep it out for too long. So keep your candle or paper strips, everything ready, and when you're about to do, use the alcohol. So maybe when you're doing, you'll understand what I'm telling.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so this particular next activity has two parts. One is where you observe how much time different liquids take to evaporate, and second is where you burn a paper by dipping it in a liquid. And what Lakshmi is talking about is the second part of that activity. Quite often it fails because of these couple of reasons. One is because we mix the hand sanitizer with water, which is already diluted, and second is if you leave it open for long, then the alcohol is gone. Hand sanitizer, you should take it out in the container only at the end, after you are ready with the rest of the setup.
Hope everyone, found this webinar session useful. That's what we are assuming. Or if you have any other, if you're not satisfied, maybe you can, put that, express it on the chat window, and we can, make some improvements or whatever. We can look into it, because your feedback is important to us. You can know, you can let us know if
Yeah.
the webinar session was okay, or if you wanted something else in it or something, your opinion.
Okay, Abhinav is saying it was very helpful. Dr. Dulappa is also saying it was very helpful. Thank you, Dulappa sir. It's very nice to see you here. Okay, Shreya is also thanking you, Lakshmi. It was useful, she's saying. Okay, very nice. Thanks, Sai Sashidhar. Thanks, Dikshita. She's saying it was very helpful and informative. Yeah, Navanika is also saying it was informative, it was very helpful. Dhriti, Gautam, thanks everyone. We will end the call here. Enjoy your experiment for the next 1 week, and we will be meeting again same time next Thursday. Okay, till then, enjoy. Abhinav is asking, is coronavirus an acid or a base?